Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year! Woo! Should we talk about New Year's resolutions?
Oh, absolutely. What are yours?
Oh, nothing.
Hey, me too. Hey, this year I'm going to work out.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah? That's so original.
I know. Hey, guys, it's the new year. It's 2024?
Question mark?
I think so. And yeah, it's that time of year again where it's the first part of the year again. And so, but we're not done talking about 2023. No.
Not yet.
It's time for us to take stock, reflect, and maybe talk about some of the favorite things that we talked about in the previous year.
Have an existential crisis, all the usual things.
Absolutely. Think too much, freak out, wonder, is 52 movies a year too many or too few?
Too many.
It's probably too many. But yeah, so we're gonna go through. We do this every year. We're gonna go through our top 10 of the things that we talked about last year on the show that both CJ and I liked the most on average.
Yes, these are our combined score divided by 2. So it's still out of 10 for a possible 10 points, but we do not have a single one of those.
Correct.
We cannot agree on anything.
No. And we're ignoring our guests' decisions on rankings because fuck them, and it doesn't matter.
It would ruin the data. It's going to taint it. Of course they're going to rate their thing higher.
Yeah, a lot of people bring on stuff that they're like their favorite thing of all time, and so they're going to rate it 10, and we're going to be like, well, actually, this isn't very good.
It kind of sucks. You have bad taste.
Yeah.
We hate you.
But then it ends up in the top 10, and then we're like, well, I guess this is here. That's no fun. Look,
No.
You guys tune in for our honest, well-informed, non-biased ratings of
very opinionated
random crap that we watch on this show. So
this is about us. Deal with it.
And look, if we're going to be reflective and think about, evolving our tastes in whatever we're watching, we have to take stock and look at just how we rated things. So,
yeah. So let's kick things off.
All right, here we go. Starting out with number 10 on episode 313. It's a movie that probably is still too high, even though it's number 10. It's Clifford.
Yay!
Yay! This is episode we had Patrick Cottner on.
Yes. Wonderful guest.
I rated it a 7. You rated it an 8. And that made it into the top 10, believe it or not. I think we probably rated a lot of things pretty low this year, if that's in the top 10.
It gives us a combined score of 7.5.
Yes. Now, Clifford, of course, stars that one guy that I don't really like that much.
Marty Short.
Martin Short. Not doing his normal shtick, though. Doing a weird child thing.
Playing a child. Even though he was, I think, in his 30s or 40s at that point.
Yeah, at least. Weird movie, but I kind of enjoyed it. I think I actually more enjoyed talking about it, and then it bumped my score up. But it's a good episode. Go check it out if you want. That came out in late June of 2023. But yeah, interesting movie.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see you give that over a 5, I think. I was expecting the worst, knowing your feelings on Martin Short.
Well, I mean, it turns out I'm maybe not alone because the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score, which is the critic score of Rotten Tomatoes, was a lowly 13%.
Certified splat.
Yeah.
Barely even a splat. Like kind of pieces of not even a full tomato splat. Just
right.
like pieces
it's
that
like
were
the
left
rotten,
over.
Like seeds that are still on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of people seem to like it because it got a 67% on for the audience score. So
That's
I don't know. It seems to be if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you really don't. But
yeah, very polarizing. I could see if you don't buy into the shtick of him playing a child, you are gonna hate this movie. But if you're like, that's kind of a funny idea, then you're gonna love this movie.
I just remember the ending with the dinosaur world thing, and that being really cool.
Yeah, that was fun. The biggest theme park in all of existence from that shot of it.
Yeah. Moving on, we got to go through these because look, there's 10 of them. We got to keep moving. Next up, coming in at number 9 from episode 310, only 3 episodes earlier, we have such tension. Oh my God, I have anxiety. No,
Suspense.
it's missing. 2023's, I think, missing, right? It's
Yeah.
a new movie.
Netflix, I believe.
Right. Yeah, we recorded that on June 7th, and I gave that an 8. You gave it a 7, so just reverse of the previous one, averaging out to 7.5 again. So I guess it's technically tied with the previous one.
Yeah.
Although I feel like Missing, well, of course I'm going to say this because I rated it higher, but I feel like Missing is a better movie than Clifford. But
And I disagree.
okay.
Yeah, Missing was the one that was all shot through electronic devices. So it was
Right.
never like a, actual camera following a character. It was like a webcam or a phone or a security camera, which was a very
Right.
cool idea.
Or like a screen recording of someone's laptop viewing those random things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was told in a really cool way. It was a mystery, kind of kept you guessing till the end.
Yeah.
I really liked it. That was the follow-up to Searching, I think, was the previous movie. Did you ever circle back to that?
Nope.
Okay. Well, recommend it. I mean, 7's not bad. If you liked Missing, you'd like Searching.
I don't think I can recall a single follow-up thing I was supposed to do on any of the show that we've ever done.
That's why we have this episode, CJ. It's to remind you, going into this next year, the things that you promised to watch in 2023.
There's no way I made any promises.
You said, Ken, on my life, I will sit down and watch Searching because I loved up to a 7 out of 10 ranking. Missing.
I have grown throughout the years, and I know myself better now as the years have gone by, and I know I would never keep any of those promises, so I don't make them.
All right. I guess there's no way to confirm whether or not that actually happened. Rotten Tomatoes gave this an 88%, and
Very
the
high.
audience score was a 90%. So
Yeah.
this is objectively a better movie than Clifford.
Yeah, I agree to disagree.
All right. Well, let's just move on because we didn't have a guest for that episode, so not a lot to talk about there. But man, within like 10 episodes, we had a lot in the top 10 because the next one coming in at number 8 from episode 319, we have the Super Mario Bros. Movie, new movie with Nadia Bhatti as the guest.
One of the best.
Yeah.
They have to make a sequel to that, right?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. They're, of course, going to.
They got to make like 10 more movies.
Yeah, for sure. The next one will be called the new Super Mario Brothers movie, right?
Yeah, because the video game is just like Super
That's what
Mario
they do in
2,
the video
right?
game.
Oh,
Well, in
really?
the original video games, yeah, it's like Super Mario Brothers 2 or Super Mario Bros. World 2. But for like the newer
Yeah, on the
2D
Switch.
Mario games, yeah, they call them like the new Super Mario Brothers movie or the new Super Mario Brothers Wii or I don't know. The
Yeah.
naming has gotten so confusing that it's if you want it for Christmas, you're likely to get the wrong gift.
I am glad though that they've taken the stance with Mario Kart that they're just like we're done with 8. We'll just put out new levels for this one and just commit because I don't want to keep buying like a Mario Kart 9, a Mario Kart 10. Like that just makes
No,
it's going to be
so
the same
dialed in at this
graphics.
point.
Yeah.
Right. There's no gimmicks anymore. Like you know what it's gonna be. If you buy a new game, you're just buying it for the new levels or the new characters or whatever. But 8 has all of the characters, and now it has almost all of the levels too. So
Yeah.
it's pretty great.
We need to organize another Mario Kart night.
Oh, absolutely. There's been new levels since we played last.
Yeah. We got to play those. We got to study up.
All right. So yeah, surprisingly, the Super Mario Bros. Movie Rotten Tomatoes only gave it a 59%, although the audience score was 95%. So just flip it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember watching this one and it being like visually very colorful and cool, especially the Rainbow Road scene.
Yeah. Stunning.
Absolutely.
It was it's a solid movie. I'm surprised by the critics rating. I don't remember that and wonder why they didn't like it.
I mean, the plot's not groundbreaking or
Yeah.
even
but
really that good, but it was still a fun movie.
like the plot is the video game. So what do you expect? Like
Right.
they're taking the video game, making it into a movie.
Maybe they were diehard Super Mario Brothers fans and they're like, oh, Chris Pratt? 59%.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get that.
I don't know.
But
Chris Pratt is locked in now. Do you think he's going to take over the video games too for the voices, or is that still going to be that one dude?
I hope not. That would be a shame if he takes over that role
because
too.
It's just a normal voice, pretty much.
Yeah, they can't do that. Instagram, for some reason, has been feeding me videos of like Mario sound effects, where it's people discovering how they made like the jump noise and stuff, and a lot of it is one of them, I think it was the jump noise, is somebody is on a keyboard and he's just kind of playing a scale. So just like notes going from lower to higher. And then they're just compressing it to be super fast. But really it's just like do, 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 do. And then they shorten it so it plays it super fast. So it's...
And that's drawing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. That makes sense, I guess.
Stuff like that,
I never would have thought about slowing that down, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's been fascinating. Yeah.
All right, we got to move on to number 7 from episode 304. It is... It's Super Dark Times! Not a newer movie. Well, it's newer, I guess, but weird indie movie with guest Olivia Cody.
One of the most, like, bizarre movies that stuck with me for weeks after watching. It's hard to get that one out of my head.
Yeah, that one's definitely lives up to its name. It's super dark. It is some dude with a sword, and it's really bad shit happens. I gave it an 8. You gave it a 7.4, which is surprising to me that you ranked it so high.
Well, it was...
You really like these kind of movies.
Not really, but it was well done for being like a lower budget kind of indie flick. And it just, it was hard to give it anything lower if the movie has such an effect on you after the fact. Like, I literally couldn't stop thinking about it for a while, so that deserves some points.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll never look at a sword the same way again, for sure.
Gruesome.
I'm just trying to remember this one part. My favorite part of the episode that we recorded was something that I wrote because I'm so self-indulgent. I said one of the fake working titles for this movie was The Sword and the Stoner.
That's good.
Which is accurate. So anyway. But, we're not the only ones who like this. Rotten Tomatoes gave us a 90%, and the audience score was lower, 72. It's kind of in line with what you gave. But for an indie movie, definitely one of the better ones.
Totally.
So props to Olivia for recommending that one.
Yeah. She has redeemed herself time and time again.
Yeah. When you start so low, it's
it can only go up.
It can only go up. All right. Well, coming in at number 6, speaking of going up, this was one of the first movies that we talked about in 2023. It's episode 289, and it is Shin Godzilla. Hell yeah. Revisited, right?
Yes.
This is the second time we talked about it.
That's right.
It was the first time we talked about it, just us, and you were not receptive to it at all.
Hated it.
And then this time, somehow it ends up in the number 6 spot for 2023. We had resident Godzilla expert Sam on the show to talk about it. And even though we're excluding his score from the rankings, this still made number 6.
Yeah, with a 7.75 combined rating because you gave it a 9.
Because I gave it a 9. That's probably why.
Yeah.
But you gave it a 6.5, which is decent.
Yeah. That's a like, oh, this movie's fine. Like, it was entertaining enough.
I think you're coming around. I think next time we watch it on the show, this might be number 1 or 2.
No, we are not watching it. No.
I don't know.
That was
a couple years.
It had its chance. Have you been watching Monarch, that Godzilla show?
I intend on watching it. Have you?
Yes.
Is it good?
It's pretty good. It's fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There's a lot going on to keep you entertained. A couple different kind of like coexisting storylines. It's interesting. For those that don't know, it's on Apple TV, and it's Wyatt Russell, which is Kurt Russell's son. Him and his dad play the same character because the show goes back and forth in time, which cool. I think is very cool.
Nice. There's a lot of Godzilla news nowadays. That movie that came out, Godzilla -1 or something.
Yeah. I actually...
the Japanese one.
I got the review from Sam, I was with him recently, and he had seen it, and he enjoyed it. He says it's him and Mary went and saw it. They say it's really dark, like dark as in like sad and
like super dark times, dark.
Yeah, that kind of dark. Yeah, so
cool.
But
I've
they
only
recommended
seen
it.
like very positive reviews for it on Letterboxd. It's the ranking scale is like way skewed to the right. It seems like it's pretty positively reviewed. And then coming out in 2024, I believe, is going to be Godzilla X Kong, or whatever the Godzilla and
them
Kong
battling
sequel.
finally. Didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, a sequel. I was like, didn't they do that?
Because they
already?
already had Godzilla versus Kong, and now it's going to be Godzilla X Kong, where they're fighting together rather than against each other.
Okay. Do you know who they're fighting? Who's left to like?
I don't know, some other kaiju.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Okay.
I don't know. But that takes place at least in the same cinematic universe as Monarch. So if you watch the show, that would fit within that.
The show also can be kind of, the first episode is pretty rough in terms of like, that's also a little dark. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I was like, oh damn, they're really like showing this stuff, huh? Really setting up trauma.
Is it mostly like human drama, or do we get a good amount of kaiju stuff too?
No, you get a good amount of kaiju for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Does it look cool?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
It's well done.
All right. Mark me down for watching it. I will make a promise on this show that I will keep, and I will watch Monarch. All right. Coming up next, in the number 5 position, episode 324 from mid-September, we have Barbie. Yeah, with guest Julia Sullivan. I gave it an 8. You gave it an 8. Julia gave it an 8. 8's all around for the average. It's an 8. Rotten Tomatoes, 88. Audience score, 83. Oh,
8's all around.
Going. This is going to be up there, of course, for 2023. It was one of the most talked about movies in 2023.
This is making me think, like, I really don't think I went to the movie theater a ton last year. It was like Barbie, the newest Spider-Verse movie, which is like one of my favorite movies. Oh my God, it's so good. It's on Netflix now, I'm pretty sure.
It is, yeah.
So good. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, I saw Past Lives in the theater, but that might be it. Nice. I'm really struggling to think of stuff. I probably saw whatever Marvel movie maybe came out last year. Was that the Ant-Man one maybe?
Probably the Quantumania thing.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched that either.
Saw that by myself in theaters. It's fine.
Did you see the Marvels?
No, I've not seen the Marvels yet. That one I'm probably going to wait to hit up on streaming.
Too much, but look, we'll talk about that in the next Marvels episode that we do.
Yeah. That one's also getting pretty bad reviews, or has gotten bad reviews, yeah.
Apparently Quantumania didn't.
Also got bad reviews.
So, but yeah, Barbie, I was Ken for Halloween, because obviously. And did you ever see, so that was part of the Barbenheimer double feature. Did you ever watch Oppenheimer?
I did. Did you? Before I say what I thought? Okay.
No. You go ahead. It's okay. Don't spoil it, but.
No, I won't spoil it. It's long, and you feel it. At least I did.
Okay.
You get to, at least, again, this is my opinion, it got to a point in the movie where then I was like, holy crap, there's still like 40 more minutes of the movie. What the fuck are they going to talk about for 40 minutes? Yeah, so I was really feeling it towards the end of it. I think overall it was fine. I don't really understand the big buzz around it or anything. Yeah.
I think, for me, I think the big draw, not having seen Oppenheimer, but I think the big draw was just the fact that there was like a promotional like double feature thing happening. Like, you don't get that very often with movies nowadays. I mean, especially post-pandemic, but even before then. I think that's just fun, and I think that studios or just movies in general should promote that way, where it's like, hey, it's two relatively larger movies, they're coming out together, make it a double feature. It's fun.
I think that, you're right, that probably helped them a ton.
Yeah.
Just getting sort of lucky with that or something. I also assume, like, I like Christopher Nolan movies, so I will continue to like watch anything he does. I did watch it with headphones so that the sound mixing wasn't as big of an issue.
Okay.
Probably would recommend that because there are parts that get basically no sound and then they hit you with really loud sound. And so it's more tolerable if you're wearing headphones versus like a stereo system. But yeah, see it because, I don't know. I'd be curious to hear what you think about that.
Yeah, that's definitely on my list. I will, no promises on when I will watch it, but I will watch it at some point.
You got to carve out a solid 3 hours.
Yeah. I almost feel like Oppenheimer we wouldn't be talking about it right now if it weren't for Barbenheimer. Like, it's one of those that like was cool when it came out, but like might not quite have the same staying power in terms of like the zeitgeist as Barbie.
Yeah. I definitely, out of the two, I would gladly rewatch Barbie. I'm never going to watch Oppenheimer again.
Right. Yeah.
Barbie's
all right.
fun.
We got to move on. Before the show, we were saying like, hey, if we talk about each one for 5 minutes, that's 50 minutes. And I was like, I don't know if we're going to do that. But then, of course, here we are, 25 minutes in. So we got to move on to number 4. We have episode 299 for mid-March. It is Chainsaw Man with guest Danny. I gave it an 8. You gave it a 9. And Danny gave it a 6, even though he brought it on. I don't know what happened there.
I think he chose it before he watched it. I think he'd watched like one episode.
Oh, it was an excuse to watch it, probably.
Yeah.
Combined rating for us two, though, 8.5. So comes in at number 4 spot. Rotten Tomatoes gave the series in 97%, audience score 89%.
Yeah.
So that's pretty damn good.
Really well liked. I can't wait for the second season. I was telling people about the show the other day and just saying that like at the end of certain episodes, I literally was like, how are there more what's happening? It just keeps escalating and escalating after every single one to the point, where I was literally like, how is the show still going on? What's going on here? This is incredible. What?
It really just tops itself. And for those who don't know, who may not have listened to the episode, it's an anime called Chainsaw Man, but ultra violent, but also really interesting story. And like CJ said, keeps one-upping itself through each episode.
And I would say decently funny. There's some characters that are a lot of fun and have some jokes and stuff, or their personalities are just kind of funny in general.
Especially if you've watched anime before and you kind of get the tropes a little bit, but it's good. Yeah, definitely
very entertaining.
Worth a watch. All right, we're gonna move on to number 3, episode 307, mid-May. It is D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. I gave it an 8.5. You gave it a 9. Average of 8.75.
I really had a lot of fun with this. It was for sure comedic. I think that's why I liked it so much. It was fun. It wasn't. I think we as maybe a movie culture is finally moving away from just setting the stakes, lots of build up, and then one big boss fight at the end. Where now we're sort of getting like little mini altercations to still kind of leading up to a big boss fight, but it's at least like action packed along the way. You're not just like, all right, they're on a quest. We just have to wait for an hour and a half until they get to the boss and then they fight him and the movie's over.
Well, I think it definitely helps that, I mean, that's kind of how D&D works, right? Like you have little battles with, maybe lesser creatures or enemies, and then maybe some larger ones, and then a big one, but you still have other things going on too. I think it did a good job of representing D&D in a movie.
Totally.
As someone who still plays D&D, it makes sense. I don't know. It was good. I think they said they were going to make a sequel.
I hope so.
Who knows if that'll still be the case, but I think it's totally ripe for a sequel. And if not, I mean, they could even do it with different characters. I think this is something that they should at least continue to try to extend, because there's so much you can do with the Dungeons and Dragons IP. And it was really well received. I mean, 91% for Rotten Tomatoes, 93% for audience score. So I think with those kind of numbers, you're probably going to get a sequel. Fingers crossed. So. Plus, we got our girl Letty, You know, she was in it.
That's right. Letty from Fast and Furious is in it, playing a complete
justice
badass.
for Letty. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, she got justice in this. I'll tell you what.
Absolutely. Look, it wasn't going to be a top 10 without us talking about at least one Fast and Furious movie. Which,
interesting. Notice that none of them made that.
Well, that brings us to our number 2 movie. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, unfortunately, somehow, none of the Fast and Furious movies made it into the top 10. Not even the offshoot, Citizen Kane, made it on the list. I'm not sure what happened.
Fast X came close, I will say, but not quite.
It's probably
there.
like number 17 or something.
Yeah, it got a combined score of 7.25, so it just needed another 0.25 to make it up to the top 10.
Gee, which score dragged it down?
Weird. I don't have that here. Anyway.
I mean, it wasn't Steve. I mean,
yeah,
he typically
definitely
does those
wasn't
10s.
Steve.
Surprisingly, it wasn't me. That's great. Well, anyway, we'll move on.
Weird.
That is actually, I have to re-listen to that episode on why you didn't give it a higher score.
I might have to give that I think on the episode I said I would watch it again at some point, and I probably will, but I'll probably save it until part 2 comes out, or Fast 11, and then I'll watch Fast X again, and then immediately try to like watch the new one the next day or something like that. Maybe that'll
I think we need to
change it. Yeah.
I hope they release it again and do like a double feature in the theaters.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be good.
I would dedicate a whole day to that. Spend a Saturday just watching the first one and then immediately into the next one.
Well, why not all of them? Just make it a weekend.
How many hours would that be? That's 10 movies times 20 hours at least, probably.
At least. I mean, if you throw in all the extra little shorts and bad indie movies that fit in I don't know. All right. Would we, if we were to do a marathon of it, would we watch it in release order or chronological order?
Chronological would be fun. I'm currently listening to a podcast where they decided neither one of the hosts has ever seen any of the movies before, and they have decided to go backwards. But they are
oh no,
they are watching the 9th one 9 times, the 8th one 8 times, etc., and going backwards that way.
How do you have enough time to do that?
It's every week they watch one of them and then put out an episode, and they've slowly been making their way through.
So they talk about it every week for 9 times for the 9th one?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I think the whole show is going to take them about a year or close to a year to get through all of it. Yeah.
That's
it's been
awesome.
very funny.
I assume Steve's on that one too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
They're very confused by the timeline stuff. They just hit Tokyo Drift. I listened to an episode this morning, and they're like, wait, what? So that's where Han is introduced, and what's happening?
Yeah, I can't imagine coming into Tokyo Drift after having seen everything prior, because would they even remember the main dude from this movie being in 9 and 10?
Probably
not.
But
kind of?
barely,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, I guess you watch it 9 times, it maybe gets drilled into your head that oh yeah, this guy's in this movie.
The podcast is, I'll name it and recommend them because I love both the comedians. It is aptly titled "The Worst Idea of All Time." That's the name of the podcast.
Have they only done Fast and the Furious movies, or have they done this with their series too?
It's a new movie each year, so they choose a new. The movie or the podcast started by them watching Grown Ups 2 every week for an entire year. Yeah, which, as you can see, probably the worst idea of all time. Yeah,
well, I mean, is this a bigger podcast? Do they have advertisers and stuff?
They have advertisers. Yeah, it's these two New Zealand comedians.
Who the hell is going to listen to that?
Did
you listen to every single one of those, CJ?
No. I did not. I got on board later in life, especially when I heard they were doing the Fast and Furious franchise. I was like, oh, I'm definitely listening to this.
That's kind of cool. I might check out 1 or 2 of those, at least, especially the Fast and Furious 3, because there's only 3 episodes of those.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's awesome. All right, good rec. Well, coming into our next recommendation, it's the number 2 spot from episode 317. It is... Say it with me, CJ.
Wayne's World! Party time. Excellent.
Brother Eric, I gave it a 9. You gave it a full 10 for an average of 9.5, which is actually a tie for first place.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, Wayne's World, obviously, a classic.
Classic. It's the best.
Party time. Excellent.
What more do you need?
I don't know what else to say, honestly. I mean, it's Wayne's World.
It's Wayne's World. Party time. Excellent.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 79. Audience score of 84. It's a classic.
I think we were all genuinely pleasantly surprised, too, that like an older movie held up so well. That there wasn't a ton of inappropriate jokes that may not have passed this day and age. I seem to avoid almost all of that for the most part. I'm trying to think of any
exactly.
that.
It's definitely, even though it was made back in the day, it still definitely holds up today in terms of both what's appropriate and the comedy too. I think is really funny as well still.
Yeah. That also gave us our most viewed TikTok video, which is when my brother started talking about SpongeBob behind closed doors. Which, for those of you, if you don't remember, look it up. Give it a Google. SpongeBob not at work.
Yeah, definitely not at work. That's something to reflect on this year. CJ, you've definitely taken the reins on this, but we've entered the TikTok era.
That's right.
Dab. And no cap, we're rocking it.
Oh boy. But you can follow us at Overtalking Pod, the same username on all the socials.
Yes.
Go give us some likes.
All right. And the movie that got the most likes out of the Excel sorting that happened here, even though it's the same sort as number 2, it is episode 298, which is another number, 1917, with guest Ryan Holtman.
That was, I think, a genuine surprise from me. I had no idea really I was like, oh, okay, a war movie. That'll probably be entertaining. There'll be fighting and guns and explosions and stuff. But man, I think what really put it over the edge for this, and I think I speak for both of us, is like the cinematography, the fact that it was more or less in one continuous shot was extremely cool. I know in reality that's not how it works, but
it's just presented that way, though.
Yeah, but it was presented that way, which was awesome. They even left in the part where the guy trips and he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. Which is good. It's believable.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I honestly don't usually seek out war movies, although when I sit down to watch one, it's usually a really good one and I actually really enjoy it. And this is definitely one of them. I mean, the other one that comes to mind is Dunkirk.
See, I was just about to say, I still have not seen Dunkirk because those are usually the ones I don't typically seek out in my free time. And because for Dunkirk, I was hearing from friends that some of them were having like a full-blown panic attack at the movie theater because it was just too intense of like explosions and a lot going on.
Huh. I don't remember that. I mean, I remember it being intense, but not to the point of that. But I remember that being very good. Probably more intense than 1917. Although I don't believe that was all in one shot like this was.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, the added really cool stitched together presentation of it being one continuous journey for this character was really surprising and good and enjoyable, I think, for both of us.
Just an all-around good time with one of our favorite guests.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, all of our guests are our favorite. We love them all.
We didn't have any repeats for guests in the top 10, so, pretty decent spread for recommendations this year. And I think if you pick any of these to watch in 2024, you're going to have a good time, except for maybe Clifford.
If you're the right person, you will have a good time with Clifford.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can also watch it for free on YouTube, like with some ads, but easy to find.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's our top 10 for 2023. Siege, looking forward to a new year, 2024.
Man.
What do we got planned?
No, the usual.
Nothing yet, but with more to come.
We got another episode next week where we will be watching something.
Insert movie here. It's going to be good. Tune in. Look, if you guys like us, where can you find us? CJ?
You can follow us on all the things, especially TikTok at Overtalking Pod. Give us a follow there on Instagram. We're posting videos. We're now recording all of our Zoom sessions, so you get to see us live and in person, but not live because it's recorded and I edit it. But you know what I mean.
And they can call or text us at USACat1591. Please do that. Let us know your New Year's resolutions. Mine's to work out.
To get fucking jacked.
Yeah. Huh. Every year, dude. Every year. Get jacked, stay jacked,
Just same for me, but like just go on more walks. I'm trying to really do that in the winter months, is to remind myself that like, hey, it's bad for you if you stay indoors for more than a day at a time and don't leave your place.
I think that was your New Year's resolution for the past 2 years as well, but I don't think there's any problem with that because that's something good to continue to remind yourself to do. So
good for my mental health.
Oh no, they're here.
It's
the Overtalking Overlords. Hey, what's your New Year's resolution? Just glowering at me. I don't know what that means. Oh, they're making the running motion. So they
also to work
can
out.
Try to go on more runs.
I thought they were going to say that their goal is to increase their rent.
They don't typically talk to me like using words unless they're on the show. So I don't know. Yeah. They're running at me now. Okay. They're here to remind you if you like the show, please go on to Apple Podcasts and rate and review. On Spotify, you can rate as well. Please do that. That helps people find the podcast. Also, we spend no money in advertising. So if you like the show, please tell a friend and spread the word. And you know what? Just buy some Magic Mind too. Why not? We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we're going to get another angry email from Actor Wayne Knight at overtalkingpod@gmail.com because the Fast and Furious didn't make the top 10.
Probably. Well, I'm surprised they didn't say anything about the Jurassic Park movie that you did.
He's a busy guy. I don't blame him.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on. But listen, if you're Actor Wayne Knight, please write us in. Let us know you're doing okay. I don't know if you're still actively working on anything, but let us know.
He's on Cameo.
He's on Cameo. Great. How do you know that?
I know things.
Okay.
I think somebody told me, actually, that listens to the show. We're like, he's on Cameo, right?
It's very specific. It's a specific piece of knowledge.
Yeah. Everybody's on Cameo. Should we be on Cameo?
Maybe we should be on Cameo. Look, if you want to find us on Cameo, let us know. Call or text in at USACat1591. It's in the show notes if you don't know how to spell out the letters on your phone. There should be a literal clickable link in the show notes. If you want to.
I get that that's not really a thing anymore, that it shows letters next to the numbers. We're so old.
Well, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Bye!
Bye!
This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. This week, it was just the boys. Music by Justin Peters, logo by Nate Richards. Check out Nate's work on Instagram at Nate Richards Designs. Happy New Year, everybody!